Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Remarkable People podcast. We are 8 years into this journey together in season 13, and today we have a remarkable friend, as you're about to see, David Wood. David, welcome to the show, brother.
Well, thanks, mate. I like your energy and congratulations. 8 years in podcasting. That makes you OG.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's been a great journey, and I'm so thankful. I've learned a ton, met incredible people such as yourself, and made friends all over the world with my listeners. So it's been truly a remarkable journey, and I'm very thankful. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to hear from David Wood. He's Focus.CEO. You'll see on his hat if you're watching this, even though I know most of our listeners are audio. We have a YouTube channel and a Rumble channel if you want to check it out. And David, if someone is going to stick with this episode and listen through, this whole show is about not just what you achieved or overcame, but the practical steps of how you did it so we can too. So, what do you guarantee our listeners that they're going to get by the end of this episode if they hang tight?
I guarantee that you will be clear how much you're behind the driving wheel versus the passenger wheel of your life and business right now. And you will be very clear on how to get behind that driver's seat and actually focus on a destination because most of us, including high performers, are so scattered and there's such shiny object syndrome and so many things calling for our attention. We're all digging for gold, but most of us are digging for gold 3 feet deep. We've got 100 holes 3 feet deep instead of going deep. And so I'll talk today about how to actually choose what your month is about, what your week is about, what your day is about, and what your next 25 minutes is about, so that you can be behind the driver's wheel and go to the destination that you're excited about.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think everything in life is balance. I think that's the huge key. If you're too far left, you're too far right, both are insanity. But that down the center balance is what God talks about in the Bible. And a lot of people, some people have an intrinsic worldview, an extrinsic worldview, where they think I'm in control of everything or God's in control of everything and I have nothing to do with it. Where I think for all of us, there has to be a balance. So when you talk about getting in the driver's seat and taking control of your life, I'm totally on board with that, as long as obviously we're following God's guidance, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a very short break, give you a great affiliate offer, and we come back. When we come back, David is going to show us, teach us about his life, the journey he took, and all about getting that focus.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
All right, David, welcome back. Let's do this. Quickly, where are you from? What was your upbringing like?
I'm from Australia and I had a pretty good childhood. Still have great parents. Something that was different is we had a tragedy and I lost my little sister when I was 7 years old. And I was there when it happened. It was a traffic accident. And we didn't know this at the time, but apparently one of the reactions to trauma can be that you shut down your emotional side because that's safer. So I became very left brain, very cerebral, very logical, came top of my school, got paid to go to college, was successful in a number of different ways. But it took me until the age of 26 to realize that there was so much I was missing out on. like a lot of cerebral people, I was missing out on emotional intelligence, vulnerability, authenticity, integrity, a lot of the really important leadership skills and what some people call the softer skills. And so I've spent the last 25 years since I realized that, like, oh my God, I'm missing out on all these good things. I've spent the last quarter of a century catching up and sitting with gurus, sitting with therapists and doing my own really deep work and pushing the edges of human experience. So now I'm an unusual kind of a coach because I'm great with you need systems, you need to get on board, you need marketing, you need all that. All right, let's do it. You need focus, I'm your guy. But also you want to talk about that your kids don't talk to you, or you're having issues with your relationship, or you're just not happy. I cover that too. So it's a little bit unusual.
Yeah, and it all intertwines, right? In life, you can't live as an island in one side or the other. It's all connected.
All right.
But what are some of the tips then? I mean, obviously it's complex and there's depths, but some people are just wired to be analytical. Some people, like you said, trauma changes their personality completely. And you had a little combination of both. So, what were some of the things practically to help you become, say, I don't want to say emotional, like, oh, you're crying when you watch a movie, but you're more connected with humanity. And when you're connected, you can feel more pain, but you can also feel more joy. So, what were some of the things you did to reconnect and balance?
Great. And I assume, we'll get at some point to how to focus and how to accelerate your results, right? Because that's the left brain stuff. That's the stuff I got so good at initially. So I want to give people some tips on that because people are very hungry for how do I get there in 2 years instead of five?
Hmm.
Or how do I get there at the same pace, but also have 2 or 3 days a week off? And so I want to get to that, but I love your question. How did I rebalance? How did no one's ever really asked me that. The first thing is I accidentally did a personal growth program. I didn't want to do it. Someone said, "Oh, your wife should do this. Sounds like she could really use this." And as they talked about it, I'm like, "I've never done any introspection. Let me check it out." And I nearly didn't do it, David, because they all wore name tags and they all smile way too much. They're all smiling all the time, and I'm like, this is some cult bullshit. But I said, no, I'm not signing up because you can't force me to do anything. And I went home and I signed up in my own time. And I thought I'll give it a shot. And I was lucky enough that this was a really quality program. They were ready for people like me who were cynical and thought they were smarter than everyone in the room. And the first one didn't change my life, but I kind of accidentally again ended up doing their second program, and that one cracked my heart open. And I
Hold on, before you
realized,
get there, this is super important. You're like, this is a life-changing moment, and I'm interrupting you.
yeah,
But that obstacle, it seems in everything in life, things get worse before they get better. Or you get to the top where there's so much pressure and most people quit. Where it's like if you just take one more step, you're at the summit of the mountain and can see the world. What was the difference, David, that had you went to one touchy-feely floofy class with name tags and smiles. You didn't want to be there. But what was it inside of you, or what happened that made you get to that next class?
yeah, that's good. And I love how you're identifying the obstacle. The obstacle was arrogance, and I already know that was the obstacle. So to me, I was being offered a complete life change, and I wasn't willing to accept it because it wasn't inside my reality. What the reason I managed to get past it was a bit of luck. Firstly, I did that first program and they said, when you go back to work, someone's going to ask you if you've had a haircut because something will be different about you, but you won't know what it is. And I swear that it's exactly what happened. Someone's like, you had a haircut? I'm like, all right, I'm interested. But they'd given us this 10-week program for free. You do the course, come and practice for 10 weeks. And I'm like, I'll do 2 or 3 and then I'm out. Well, I found myself in the first one, they're asking who wants to volunteer to be a group leader. wasn't even conscious. My hand was up and I was chosen before I had a chance to stop it. So
Wow.
I so I volunteered to lead because I'm interested in leadership. And now I'm like, oh shit. Now I've got to do all 10 weeks of this bullshit. And then halfway through the course, people were coming back from the second course and they were bouncing off the walls with energy, enthusiasm, lit up, motivated. And I said, I don't know what you did to them, but I want that. And so that got me into the second program. And that's where it was actually in the second program. It was, I heard one of the teachers whispering to another one, and that changed my life. Someone was up on stage, they're in tears, the whole room's going nuts with a breakthrough that they're happening. And the teacher said to the guy next to him, it just makes you cry, doesn't it? And I was like, oh my God, there are people who want to make the world a better place. I didn't know that was a thing. So then I got interested, how do I make the world a better place? And I got into coaching because I heard if you did the third program, they would train you as a coach. And I had the experience of accidentally coaching people and changing lives during the seminar. And I'm like, this feels good. How do I get more of that? So I went and did the third one, which changed my life again accidentally because I just wanted to be a coach. And then I started coaching through them, and now it's 26, 27 years in.
And again, so I want to go back. When you go through anything in life, once you know it, like rocket science is easy once you learn it. Brain surgery is easy once you learn it. Forgiveness, that's like one of those things people just let it go. But until you work through 1,000 different emotions and thoughts and feelings, you can't just forgive, right? So you're going into this class an analytic and you're 1 + 1 = 2 and everything's structured.
Right.
What was it though? Like we just went through the story and how it happened with all the exterior and the whisper you heard and how you were having these revelations, so to speak, within yourself. But I guess, was there just a switch where you went from 1 + 1 = 2 to, oh, it's not just 1 + 1 = 2, but there's colors. There's feelings, there's emotion. How did you transition for all of us? Because I am one of those analytical people who has a hard time with feelings. How did you
Yeah.
transition to that world?
Yeah. It wasn't one moment suddenly I'm touchy-feely, right? It wasn't that. It's been 1,000, 5,000 moments, but I can highlight a couple of the big ones. One of them was hearing that guy and realizing, oh, wait, these people care. So that was important. Two, seeing that I didn't know everything. And there was a whole bunch of stuff. And I saw other people in touch with their emotions. And I'm like, I've got some work to do. Three, when I had a woman in my car one night, I gave her a ride home and she confessed to me something she hadn't told anybody. And her life changed over a period of a week. Some big secret she'd had from her husband, she revealed it. She took a risk, put her marriage on the line, came back floating 6 feet above the ground saying, we're so in love now, everything's been revealed, we're authentic with each other. I was like, all right, I gotta go further down this path. And then another big moment was my relationship wasn't working, and I'd tried everything and I'd screwed it up 8 times. And I realized I can't go back without a doctor's note. Like I just can't try this again without a guide to tell me how it's going to be different. So I went to a psychiatrist, and our family didn't do that. You didn't do that in Australia. Here it's becoming way more acceptable. This is 25 years ago in Australia. I'm like, I don't give a shit. And I think that's key. I was willing to listen about an area I knew nothing about. And he changed my life. He said, I can't prove it, but I think that you've got a complicated grief reaction. You never grieve for losing your sister. I think you are a sensitive guy. You are having feelings, but you don't know how to access them. And I think I can help you. And I'll tell you, dude, I got goosebumps right now. I was supposed to go and smoke weed with my friends. I was like 23 then. I said to them, you keep it. I was on the biggest natural high of my life, that there was hope for me. And he gave me exercises. He had me watching movies. He had me go back and interview my parents about the death of my sister, my neighbors, go and see her things, read books, things that started triggering and opening the floodgates after so many years of squashing it down. And again, I don't want people to think, oh, I just need to find that one thing. No, landmark education opened me up to start to learn to learn. Now I was less arrogant. The therapy started to open me up to learn to feel. Then I found a guru and went and sat in his courses and started to feel more and more. And even this year, I sometimes lead, sometimes participate in courses where we practice sitting in a circle and speaking, this is what I'm feeling right now. And hearing you say that, I notice this is what's happening in my body. Somehow I found my way to a practice after all these years. So there are some big moments, but then it's thousands of moments as you go down that path to reclaim that emotional side if you're not in touch with that.
Yeah. So now, there's obviously 1,000 questions. We can go as deep or as shallow as you want, but
I'm up for deep, man.
yeah, no, 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 I know, but
That's my
there's,
path.
yeah, yeah. So now we have your sister, you see her in a traffic accident, pass away. You basically suppress all this emotion. You accidentally, unconsciously, but consciously go to a class and raise your hand, and you're going through this process and you're learning and you're growing. So bring us between there and today, because I don't want to skip anything in your life that you deem significant or you want to share that'll help our listeners. So take us through that part, David.
I think it was a series of teachers. Once you're on the quest, and people listen to this podcast, if they haven't tuned out yet, there's a chance that they're on the quest. There's a chance that they're like, you know, I would like to be more relational. I would like to be more aware of what's going on with me. If I'm having a tough conversation, I'd at least like to navigate my own territory so that I know what's happening. You might have your partner who wants you to be more emotionally available, or you just want to feel more or feel better. Once you're on the quest, you start to find the teachers. People, I coach a lot of executives and business owners. I think they find me out of the millions of other coaches because there's a part of them that says, look, I want more money. I want the promotion. I want more time off, but I think I also want to grow. So let me go and find Davo. So I went and found, people would suggest, hey, I'm going to this teacher. I'm like, all right, I'll go and check it out. And then I'd stick because it was uncomfortable. And because if I kept sticking with it, I started to feel more connected than I ever had in my life. If you ever done an immersion course for like, 7 days residential, 10 days, there's often this kind of a pink cloud and this amazing feeling of connectedness and community you can get. It's one of the reasons I did courses all the time. So Paul Lowe, who's no longer teaching, was a big catalyst for me. The Human Awareness Institute is still going, and they're incredible for heart-centered things, learning how to touch and feel. David Data was one of my teachers who is really good with man-woman dynamics, learning how the masculine can be animated and the feminine. The Morehouse is underground, but I'll give him a shout out. LafayetteMorehouse.com really taught me about men and women and what women in particular want. And if you have the women in your life be happy, life's going to be really damn good. And if they're not, you got all the attention on yourself, you got society. And the last one that comes to mind is Byron Katie, who's still teaching, still kicking. And she taught me the worst thing that can happen to you is a thought. I didn't know that. I thought it was life. I thought it's like things happening. And I finally learned through Katie that no, if I'm upset, if I'm like pissed against something or against something, it's all about what I'm believing. It's got nothing to do with what's happening. So you've now got my whole lineage, all the teachers. Oh, wait, there's one more now. It was 5 years ago. I thought I knew everything there was to know about communication because I've studied it for 25 years and I teach it. I discovered authentic relating. And my friend is one of the leaders in the world in authentic relating. And I was just like, yeah, I know all this shit. I'm not going to go. Oh my God. There are so many techniques like just revealing and checking for impact. Hey, I know I just said something. Oh, hang on. Alexa, thank you. My reminder to let my dog out. You say something, you never really know how it lands. You can check for impact. Hey, I know I just fired you, and I imagine that's really tough to hear. How is it to hear that? What do you got to share? So many techniques that have been missing from my vocabulary. So that one, I'm just, I'm so, it teaches you how to slow down to the speed of connection, how to really listen and really say what's happening. And I didn't know that for 20 years, 15, 20 years. I didn't know that. I was doing well. I was charming. I was successful, but I was missing the people part. And most of us, we watch movies, we watch feel good movies to have that experience of being inspired and having deep connection. But we can go deeper in our life like that if we have the tools.
I couldn't agree more. And it's listening to you and your journey. I don't think there's any human, even our greatest master. You could pick any art, any discipline, any profession, and there's always more to learn. And I know in my own life, the more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
that's what's great about communication for you, for me, for everybody. There's always more to learn. And there's always 10,000 things we know, but there's 100,000 things we don't. So that's cool. You're still on that journey and you're willing to learn.
Yeah. And the first course I did, that landmark education, the first thing they do on the whiteboard is they say, here's what you know that you know. And then here's what you know you don't know. You don't know how to do brain surgery, right? And then there's some stuff that you know that you don't know you know. That's called unconscious competence. But there's this huge area you have no idea that you don't know this stuff and this stuff and this stuff and this stuff. And they said that's where this course lives.
Mhm.
And I do think that's where coaching lives too, because you know what you know. But if you get a coach or a therapist or maybe a mastermind or some kind of structure outside yourself, which I had to learn to rely on, I had to learn to accept that. If you can do that, then you can start to delve into and find those areas, those blind spots that you didn't even know you could go looking for. So I find that exciting about courses in general and coaching specifically.
Absolutely. So where are you at today, Dave, and where are you headed next?
Where am I at with respect to
Just
geography?
just life. What are you focused on now? Like talk about focus CEO.
Oh, right. Well, I've been coaching for 20 something years. I doubt I'll ever stop. I like working with business owners mainly because they got so much going on and they're the leverage point of everything. And I also do a lot of executive coaching. It just kind of fell into my lap. And, I want to make a pitch to the left-brained people listening. Your brain, if it's anything like mine, it's probably telling you, I've got to learn focus, productivity, marketing, hiring, sales, and I got to double revenue. I agree. I totally agree with all that. But if you're listening to self-help at all, and if you're listening to David's podcast, I'm guessing you are, you probably also know that these things we're talking about are going to help you with that. We're talking about how to have more influence. We're talking about how to have more empathy and curiosity. We're talking about how to be more relational. You get those skills down, then you're going to have people want to work with you. You're going to have people want to go over hot coals for you. You're going to have motivated staff who stick around. You're going to be able to make that sale because you're relational. So these things aren't soft skills anymore. I think they're hard skills that we need to learn. And if you've been following what's happening with AI, a lot of the thought leaders are saying as we go forward, it's not your left brain stuff that's going to have you make money and have you be in demand because AI is going to be able to do that. What's going to have you stand out is the stuff that AI can't do. And what are those things? All the skills you and I have just been talking about: empathy, humor, wisdom, curiosity. These are the things that really make us human. And more than ever, I think we have to get awesome at that because AI is going to be doing everything else. So that's where I'm at, actually. I'm at continuing to practice authentic relating and connecting because it's just good for the heart. It's good for me. I'm continuing to coach. I have drunk the AI Kool-Aid because I'm a nerd and I'm studying every single day to work out what I don't know about AI and helping my clients to bring it into their life and into their processes and to just learn to use it for more than just a Google. I'm building a community. We've got 150 people now on our local WhatsApp thread, and we run an event a couple of times a month for free for the community where we practice these authentic relating skills. And it fills up within 60 seconds of us posting the event now. So I just love seeing people so connected. And we've got a social thread now where people are always like, hey, come and join me for a movie. Let's do that. So apparently I have a community gene and I really like building that. And I told you before we started recording, I'm so into pickleball right now. And I love learning and I love mastering something. So I've been training for 2 years in pickleball. And now I'm bringing what I've learned because I know how to train fast. I'm bringing that kind of focus to pickleball players and helping them slow things down to the speed of training so that they can actually learn. And that's really fun for me, hosting big events with 32 people in a big warehouse, playing games, moving up, moving down. Oh, and I'm creating an app that basically allows ChatGPT to join you on your toughest phone calls or Zoom calls. And you tell it, this is the skill I want you to help me with. Help me be a great coach on this call. Help me close a sale on this call. Help me practice empathy on this call. And this is the only app I'm aware of in the world that can do that right now. And it'll pop into the private Zoom chat. Hey, try validating their emotions before you jump to a solution here. Try a couple of questions here to understand more of what they're feeling. And it's taking up so much of my time and energy, and I love it. I just can't imagine doing anything else.
Yes, and for our listeners, what Dave's talking about with AI, it's so true. The world is changing. I personally told the people I work with, I said, "Hey, the cheese has moved." I'm a marketing and sales consultant, and the majority of what we do will be gone. Like traditionally, like how it's been done for years, even building websites, social media marketing, all that stuff's going by the wayside. So I was like, we need to find the cheese. We need to find what's new that we can bring value to the world, help our clients with, and move forward. I said, because if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to be out of business in 3 to 5 years max. So it's interesting what you're saying, how you're learning, but as a businessman, that's the way you think and go, right? But as a human, there's part of me that's not scared, but sad. It's just so much of everything is being automated, and there's so many roles that people are just mindlessly right now. They're going to Gemini or Chat GPT, entering their question, hitting enter, and their literal 8 hours of their jobs done in 18 seconds, right? So it's like I feel like we're dumbing down society. Sometimes I just write now because remember before you do marketing, you're doing blog posts and email blasts and you're constantly writing. That's an art. It's part of human communication. I feel like that's dissolving with all the AI. So what are safeguards you put in place to keep yourself sharp, Dave?
Oh, dude, I don't I don't know if I'm the guy to answer this question. It's hard for me to even understand the question. Yeah, like sometimes you'd ask Byron Katie, like, hey, if you give Stephen a cup of coffee and he doesn't drink it, how can you not be less happy than if he drank it happily? And Katie would be like, I don't understand the question. Give me a frame of reference. So for me, my brain is so active, and I'm trying not to swear for emphasis right now. My brain is so active looking at what can I do now that I have this intelligence on tap? What can I do? And I'm using my brain more than I ever have before. So yeah, I'm probably going to lose the skill of how to write marketing copy. I wasn't that great at it anyway. I've just asked ChatGPT write the funnel for my coaching thing and give me three specific emails and three specific text messages that I could do to follow up. Now I'll make the decision about whether it's good enough or not. But where I'm using my brain is what do I ask ChatGPT for? And how am I going to market now? And then I get all this from ChatGPT and I don't just rest on my laurels. I'm then like, well, is there a better way? What else could I do? And I've been coming up with stuff. I like creativity. It's fun for me. Even using AI, I didn't know that you could ask six AIs at once and get a consensus, get a synthesis of the answer. I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't know you could do that. I've learned that if it's
Now, are you
very
talking about
complex,
perplexity or what tool do you do for that?
it's called chathub.gg. Chathub.gg, it's 20 bucks a month. You can pick five of your favorite models, and the one prompt goes out to five, and you get five answers. Now, I'm rarely going to read five answers, but then you click a button and it synthesizes it and takes the consensus of the AI because one can make a mistake. So, I mean, that's fascinating. So now I'm using that, and it's not like I'm not using it for Google. I spent 6 hours one day coming up with a prompt for my marketing plan. The prompt had to be so good and ask exactly the right questions. I spent 6 hours and used two AIs going back and forth before I was happy with the prompt. Now, that took a lot of brain power to work out with help what to ask it for. And then went and asked six AIs, got the consensus, and got the best of everything. So I maybe some people are going to dumb down. I can't understand it. I've learned to code now, and now I'm vibe coding, so I'm not actually doing the code, but I've learned how to get a very clunky, stupid genius to code. It's not as easy as you think when you've got a really big
Mhm.
app. I'm learning how to do that. So for me, I've never listened to the news. I've got a custom news briefing every morning where I'm finding out what's happening. I've never been so alive and so excited for something to just work out what's possible now. I'm running my pickleball group using AI, and it hasn't, you think, oh, well, you got nothing to do. No, I spent 8 hours on Sunday working out the rating of everyone according to my algorithm that I came up with AI. So it's not like it doesn't take intelligence for someone to use it. I say, I don't even think I should say this. I'm hoping and imagining that people are going to go, well, now that that's easy, what's next? If I can do that in 30 minutes and I got 2 hours left, great. Now, how do I get that celebrity endorsement for my product? Again, I go to AI, get some ideas, and then go and make 100 phone calls. I can't, I can't see me going to sleep. So I don't understand the idea that other people are going to go to sleep. Wouldn't you have to find something to stimulate your brain and create what's next? What
See,
can't the AI do?
see, for you and me, I'm the same way. I'll spend hours just discovering better ways to do things and what power is it hiding and how can we harness it. And I'm not better than anybody in the world, but it's okay. For instance, when the microwave came out, it's like, man, we can take a 3 hour meal and cook it in 20 minutes. So now we have all that time to do something productive. But people didn't. They just watched more TV, right?
Right.
They got fat. So I feel like professionally, did you ever see the movie Wall-E, the cartoon?
Yeah.
And everybody's just fat, drinking their shakes and porking up. Do you remember that?
I know. I've got it on my computer. I want to watch it again, but it's been a
Yeah,
long
they're
time.
all in a spaceship and they're just watching TV through their glasses and they're drinking their protein shake and they get so fat and lazy they don't do anything but entertain themselves and they can't even walk anymore. I feel like sadly the masses are just going to make it, ooh, how can I do less work? But instead of reinvesting that time like you are, they're just going to be like, oh, I'm going to do nothing. And that's where it's not, I'm not like, oh, it's Terminator's going to come over and take over. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I'm like you, let's harness the power and keep moving forward. But I feel like we're the minority. Most people are just like, hey, I can do this in 5 minutes and screw off the rest of the day. I don't feel like they're using it how you are. I mean, are you seeing most of your peers using it like you, or are you seeing them just using it as a hack and moving on?
Well, some of my peers, like at the higher level, one of them just went and gave a talk on how to use AI to NASA. So yeah, I mean, some of my peers are diving into it.
Mm.
I'm not in touch with a lot of my peers anymore. I'm kind of here in Asheville, North Carolina, just doing my thing. But my part of my job is to beat the soapbox, beat the drum, stand on my soapbox and encourage my clients to stretch themselves and think, how could I use it? Like most people haven't realized AI could help them come up with some great gift ideas. That's a really hard thing to do. And so you can do that. I want the AI to push back at me when I make a decision in the day. Like I've set my targets and I decide I'm not going to do this, I'm going to do that. I wanted to push back and say, hang on, you said you're going to do that. And I've got your goals for the year, for the month, for the week, for the day. And this is part of your sabotage. You tend to have shiny object syndrome. Isn't this a shiny object? I wanted to do that. Now you think that doesn't take intelligence? It can't do that out of the box right now. It's going to take a lot of crafting and setting up projects and files. I'm a nerd, so I'll do it. So even using AI, how can you use it better? Go and take a course. You have to. You have to. You can't. I mean, if you wait 3 years and then take a course, I really think you're gonna wish you hadn't.
I
I don't know.
agree. I
Sure,
agree.
there'll be some Luddites that might be like, look, I'm going to be on my farm. And my mum said, look, I'm 84. I hope I hope to never have to learn this. And I'm like, okay, you can. But for everyone else, it's like electricity just got invented, and now there's all these machines using electricity, and you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna buy some ice and keep my stuff cold. I think you go, anyway, that's me, but I'm a nerd, I'm left brain. Look, I know we're getting close on time, and I was wondering if I give people some practicals, just some quick practicals if they want to like take this conversation further before we
Absolutely. That's it. The focus, the business, go right in. How can we
great,
stay focused and achieve more?
great. So since we've talked about communication today and emotional intelligence and being relational, I'll say if listeners are thinking, I do want to learn that. I do want to go deeper. I don't think a book is the way to do it. There is a company called Authentic Relating Training, and it might be authenticrelatingtraining.org. Well, they'll do an online course, or you could fly and go and do a 2 day course with them. Really good stuff. You're going to learn some tools that'll serve you for the rest of your life. And I really think they'll help you make money. If you want custom work, you want some coaching. You probably don't want coaching on how to feel more. Some people might, but you might want coaching on how to motivate your staff or how to get people on board or how to set boundaries, how to have people be accountable. Happy to help you with that. And I'll tell you where to find me in the first step for that. But the thing most business owners come to me for, at least as a starting point, and then we find there are 6 or 7 other things that are going to add value, is they're scattered and their productivity is probably about a quarter of what it can be. It's not complex to fix that. It takes work, and it takes usually about 3 months to get you some really good habits, and that'll serve you for the next 30, 40 years. So if you're interested in working on your business, you want a business coach, you're already up and running, you've got a product that's successful, and you know that you're leaving money on the table, the way to get in touch with me is go to focus.ceo and fill in the quiz. Click apply for a session, and I've got a really great intake form that even if you don't want to work with me, still go and fill in this quiz because it'll give you a quick assessment and you'll work out what needs to be worked on in your business. Less than 10 minutes. So highly encourage you to do that. If you are interested in a session with me, I'll do a quick call with you. I don't charge for that because it's how I find the right people. The next step after that form, it'll say, click to schedule on Davo's calendar, and I'll see it in my calendar, and I'll review your results and we'll see if we're a fit. We may not be. I may send you to someone else. If we are a fit, I'll set you up with coaching and we go month by month. So there's my whirlwind practicality if you want to take another step on any of the things we talked about today.
Awesome. Now let's do this. There could be somebody on the fence. They're like, Dave made a lot of sense. I don't know though. I've heard this so many times, so many promises. If there was something that our listeners are going to take right now, if you said, hey, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. If you're not sure, take this. This is your first step. What would that first step be, Dave? So people can see, yeah, that did help.
The highest impact thing that I can think of is 2 things. Book a session with me to see if coaching is actually going to change your life, or go and register for the Landmark Forum. Landmarkeducation.com, the Landmark Forum. I don't get commission from that. Coaching is custom, right? We're going to be tailored to exactly what you need. Landmark Forum is like add water. It's packaged, but both are very powerful. Those are the 2 strongest leverage actions I can think of you taking. And something I thought you were going to go somewhere else with your question, and it had me realize the thing that got me to open and change and grow out from the trajectory that I had was being willing to take input, being willing to say, all right, I'm going to trust that you've got something. I'm going to try it out and see if it works. And I'm just so grateful that I ever did. And I think all the top performers in the world, I think this is true, are working with coaches. They want input. They're like, tell me what I'm missing. Tell me where I'm being dumb here. Tell me the obvious thing that I should have put together, but I haven't done yet. I think everyone's doing it. So there's my plug. And I trust if you're leaning as away from that, I trust that that's right for where you are right now. If you're leaning as a yes and you show up on my in my Zoom call, then I'll trust that that was right.
Awesome. Well, David, thank you for your time today. Before we wrap this up, is there anything from your birth through today that we missed or something you want to end the show with for our listeners before we close?
No, man, I don't think I can top what I just said. I just want to say this is what I've done, maybe 400 podcast interviews, maybe more, and this will be one of my favorites.
Oh, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, like our slogan says, don't just listen to this great content Dave brought you, but do it. Repeat it each day. Form a good habit so you can have a great life in this world, but more importantly, in eternity to come. So I'm David Pasqualone. This is our remarkable guest, David Wood. And David, thank you again so much, brother, for being here today.
My
All
pleasure,
right.
mate. Really good to see you.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, share this with your family and friends. Check out David's websites. And if you need anything, reach out to either one of us. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next episode. Ciao. Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely hope this show has inspired you. The whole purpose of the Remarkable People podcast is to inspire you, to motivate you into action, to help you have an even better life, to overcome things you've not yet been able to overcome, or to grow to the next level that you never thought possible. And all of this, not just to benefit you in this world, but to have you come to a relationship with God where it grows every day stronger, and not just this world is blessed, but your eternity is blessed. And we sincerely want to do just that and to glorify God. And we hope with this episode we accomplish that. If we did, please let me know. It's great to be encouraged and to spread the word to our remarkable guests that it helped in your life. If we didn't, let me know. Write me an email. You can go to davidpasqualone.com, go to our contact us page, and let me know what you think. I got tough skin. Let it rip. Anything you can think of to make this a better podcast, to help you grow and to glorify God, I'm in. So that's it. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for sending us feedback. If we can help you in any way, let us know. And if you can spread the word about the Remarkable People podcast, share the episode to your friends, your family on social media, it would be a huge honor and blessing. Again, I'm not trying to be the most famous podcast in the world for my benefit. I truly want a podcast that's the best podcast in the world to help as many people as we can to have a better life, come to know Christ, to grow in the Lord, and to have that salvation so they can be with God in peace and joy in eternity. And right now we're together on this earth, so let's do everything we can to work together and help each other grow. Like the Bible says, love the Lord thy God as a first commandment, and the next commandment is to love thy neighbor as thyself. So let's do it together. I'm David Pasqualone. I love you, not as much as God loves you, but if I can help you in any way, just ask. And again, please share this with your friends and family so we can help them too. Ciao. See you in the next episode.
The Remarkable People Podcast. Check it out. The Remarkable People Podcast. Listen, do, repeat. For life. The Remarkable People Podcast.